Alright, alright, alright. What the hell is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We've got Storm Gaming's MAXPAX, arguably the best Protoss in the world. Many saying that he is unstoppable right now, but he's facing off against the greatest of all time, SERRAL, in the bottom left side of the map. And SERRAL, I mean, this man finds a way when other Zergs are just complaining, and often with justified reason. They go, man, this patch is harder than it's been in a while. We don't know how to win right now. SERRAL, just perfect. Look at this. Overlord checks for the probe coming in, doesn't see it, so he squeezes one more drone out before going for the hatchery. If he saw a probe coming in, he would have put that hatchery down earlier, already preparing for any sort of eventuality. Now, guys, we do have a rule in this tournament. The lowest seed actually gets to pick who vetoes first. MAXPAX vetoed the first map, Frostline. SERRAL removed Star Child. So then MAXPAX picked this. Amygdala as his first map. SERRAL picked Talisman as the second map. So remember, we are going to be seeing kind of Protoss map, Zerg map, Protoss map, but I really feel this map pool, I mean, this map definitely quite strong for defensive play, quite strong for that sort of, you can survive a lot of the Zerg shenanigans. The question is that really MAXPAX's favorite part of the game? Because we've seen SERRAL fight back with grit and determination against Hero and MAXPAX multiple times over the last few months and come back from terrible situations. I mean, there have been games where he's getting mauled and we're like, well, you're pretty screwed. You're in big troubles, man. What are you gonna do? Guys, this is a double gas into Nexus? Is this just to get a quicker Oracle? Guys, MAXPAX has a new build. What is this? Chat saying Sentry before Nexus. This isn't a PvT. You can't go Sentry first. No, this is just a 2-minute Stargate. Okay, this man has decided the Oracle is the most overpowered unit in the game, and he's going to do anything he can to build that Oracle as fast as humanly possible. Oh my lord. Oh, wow. Okay, this is fascinating. I've not seen this play out in this matchup outside of Platinum League ladder, guys. I'm going to assume SERRAL reacts a little bit better than Platinum League Barry, who loses 14 drones to the first Oracle, but I really don't know. I mean, it slows down the Nexus significantly. You do lose a fair bit of probe time, but that Oracle is going to force a lot of anti-air. And I think the calculation you're making is, look, if I chrono out one Oracle, maybe I don't even build a second one straight away. But the earlier I force Spore Crawlers and extra Queens to be out, the better it is for me. And, I mean, SERRAL with his Overlord, he's seen the timing of this. He should be aware of how early this Oracle is being chronoed. He sees that. He's going to have to build, like, a 3-minute Spore Crawler in the main base. He's going to have 2 Queens to cover the natural. Adept comes in as well on the front. I think he's got to start that Spore soon, man. And already a third Nexus! Oh my god! Dude, he's learning from Clem. I kid you not, MAXPAX is actually getting better and more abusive at PvZ openings because he's seen how Clem opens. This is what it took. This is actually, I know this sounds silly, I know it sounds like a meme, but if you look at any of Clem's ladder games playing Protoss vs SERRAL Zerg, it is some of the most unhinged, greedy third bases with no wall off that you've ever seen. And he gets away with it every single time, and SERRAL has a really tough time dealing with Clem on the ladder. MAXPAX realizing, hey, extreme greed is pretty good against this safe finish guy. 4 drones do go down, and it's kind of the mixture of extreme aggression with the very fast Oracle, fast second Oracle, fast third Oracle coming in behind it, combined with a third Nexus. Look how late his pylon is. It's just now kicking in after 3 Oracles. This only works because he only built a single Adept. If he built any other gateway units, he wouldn't have been able to build probes the whole time. This is an Omega optimized build. It's just Oracles, probes, and Nexi, guys. Who needs anything else? Gets another drone there as well. Oracle comes in over the third. MAXPAX. I love this because it's creative. It's different. It's a different look to what we've been seeing. And doing it in a big tournament here in the playoffs, at the start of the playoffs, in the upper bracket, is such a good thing you need to do. You know, I always say that whenever SERRAL plays MAXPAX in the past, for a long time, MAXPAX, oh, hold that thought, I'll explain it later. Queen's gonna go down, Creep Schumer falls, great snipe, Oracle runs in from the right side, doesn't find too much, but 3 Oracles gonna fight the Queens! Oh my gosh, gets another Queen, and grabs a couple of drones on the way out. Oh my lord, holy smokes, 706 resources of damage. That's 7 drones, 2 Queens going down, you've got a third base up behind it, Blink now started, Forge coming in, and of course, a third and fourth gateway. MAXPAX is on fire in this opening, and SERRAL reeling, trying to go for a melee build. Wow, very cool. Okay, so here's what's going to be interesting, guys. I was saying, if you look at MAXPAX even 2.5 years ago, I actually felt like he was better than SERRAL in certain kind of straight up mechanical situations where there was no decision making going on, fast, good micro, good multitasking. But every time they'd play, people would go, oh, I wonder if MAXPAX is good enough to beat SERRAL yet. And SERRAL would come out with just these very clever openings. He'd take advantage of MAXPAX habits. He would punish him. He would really put him in a lot of bad situations, and SERRAL would essentially win with build orders, with clever planning, with predicting what his opponent was going to do. It's a lot like how Rogue has won PvZ since forever, right? Rogue would just study his opponents, find a nasty way to catch them off guard, get an advantage, and then run away with the game, and it wouldn't even look close. SERRAL's done that to MAXPAX over the years, and don't get me wrong, in the last few months, the story's changed because MAXPAX is varying his builds, he's changing his openings, number one. He's so rock solid in the normal games as well. But you combine that, SERRAL's wins versus MAXPAX have mostly been clawing games back in the late game with his just thousands of hours of late game experience, whereas MAXPAX never was quite there. I was asking SERRAL about it. I was saying, you know, you'd think MAXPAX, he was getting really good around the time the Void Ray meta was there. It's surprising he's not better with Tempest Storm and picking things away. And SERRAL said, I think MAXPAX missed an opportunity, he said to me, because there was players like Trap who practiced Tempest Storm and got really good at the technical perfect late game, but MAXPAX played carriers every single game back in the Void Ray meta. He never learned how to play Tempest, he never practiced it, and that's why he's not as good as some of the other players like Estrella or Hero or Trap when it comes to the Tempest Storm late game, because he just doesn't have all the big tournament experience that those guys have with that more slow poking and prodding style that just, you know, rips your opponent apart little by little positionally, because MAXPAX was more of an Archon Storm carrier A move guy. Stalker Oracle doing great pressure here. But it was kind of cool to get that insight from SERRAL. SERRAL doesn't usually open up too much, but every now and then I managed to sneak a little bit of info from him. Oh, great stasis trap. SERRAL just has to back away. Dude, the units lost tab is nasty right now, guys. This is the stuff that Zerg nightmares are made of. It's a Protoss taking a 4th base, going Templar Archives, Forge going +2, more pro production. And SERRAL right now has lost 1,900 resources of units. He's done 50 minerals worth of damage. He gets his first Stalker kill, and it literally quadruples the units that he's killed in this game. And the Oracles are going to try and cover. He's going to fall back. Finally, a few Stalkers going down. Remember, you can lose 7 Zerglings for every Stalker kill, and you'll still trade evenly. So even just getting a handful of Stalkers does help tie things up. Baneling Nest coming in, as well as the Hydra Den. Zealots on the bottom right side. MAXPAX loves running Zealot Stalker around the map. SERRAL's work account is what has us worried. We'll defend the 5th base in the bottom right, but a lack of creep spread connecting his bases, and oh my gosh. SERRAL was not ready for the early Oracles. The damage is compounded, and he realizes he's too far down. He would rather hit reset and try again in the next game rather than expend energy on what he sees as a lost cause. Fair call. All right, guys. SERRAL with a very rough loss in game 1. He just hits the reset button, and he's going for that 15 Overlord here on Talisman, where he's going to be blocked. But honestly, he picked this map. I do not think he's intending to take his normal base. Oh my, I thought he was going to take his gold base. I didn't think he was going to take MAXPAX gold base. Holy moly. What in the hell, man? Guys, this series is kicking off real fast. And look at this. This probe's going to run all the way around. He's just assuming he's taking this base. He's going to check here just to make sure, but MAXPAX, it's going to be so hard for him to realize he's getting proxy hatched unless he checks his backdoor. For those who don't know, guys, if you've never seen this map has a worker-only path down here. No other unit can squeeze through up and down here except workers, but you can also mine these minerals out. There's only about 70 minerals on each of those patches, so that's going to be kind of crazy as well. So these 2 patches, it's going to take like, I think it's like 8 trips or 10 trips or something. I don't know. It's about a minute of mining at most, not even that, to mine those. So I wonder if SERRAL's just going to open those up and then just flood in with like Zerglings or Zergling Roach or something like that. He's got 5 drones going across the map. So he's going to both use this as a mining outpost and a launching pad. So he's going full sapper. And oh, there's a Nexus on the way. MAXPAX, that's not the play, bro. MAXPAX never scouted this base. He was assuming that was there. Of course, seeing the drones coming, he's realized what's happening. But SERRAL, what a nasty build order. I told you SERRAL was not going to play straight up in this series. He never does. Full wall off on the front for MAXPAX. A wise idea. And 1 drone on the high ground here for SERRAL. Now, what's he doing with this drone, guys? It's like he's going... Oh, he's just trying to scout if there's cannons, I guess, going up. It is a shield battery. 2 queens going down. SERRAL can always expand behind this. He could use this as a transition expansion. Probe is over on that side. Adept's getting chrono boosted for MAXPAX. Number 1. 2nd Adept starting. So it's going to be 2 gates, 3rd gate, and a shield battery. Just basic units for MAXPAX, I think, is the right play. Those 2 gold mineral patches already mined out, guys. Here we go, Lings. Oh, can he get the surround? Not going to be able to. Good safety shade as well for MAXPAX, keeping himself back. Creep Tumor goes down. Will we see a Spine Crawler go down? Because if you're just flooding Zerglings, you can start walking Spine Crawlers up to the high ground once the creep gets up there. But it does mean giving up gold mining. Right now, he's got those 4 gold mineral patches being mined from relatively effectively. Oh, MAXPAX grabs a drone. Serra not watching. And this Overlord not being over there. I think the Overlord should have been down here to give him a bit more vision of what was going on that high ground so he can see these Adepts coming ahead of time. Baneling Nest is on the way for SERRAL. MAXPAX with 3 gateways though, and Warp Gate's almost finished. If he can get out about 7, 8 Adepts, spread them out. If they don't get hit by Banelings, or maybe stand them in the choke points a little bit, it could be good. These batteries though, he's creating a choke point here. He's not expecting Banelings. This is a Baneling target right here. Ling's going to go for a bit of a wraparound, going to try and attack the shield batteries first. The Adept's trying to shade back to the mineral line, saying, okay, give up ground. But the pylon, the only pylon in the main, is super exposed. And the Queen's going to take out those 2 shield batteries, trying to wall in behind it, but these buildings are incredibly clumped up for MAXPAX, and that does create a juicy target for the Baneling, like we were talking about. 4 Adepts coming forwards, 2 Queens are there. SERRAL's all in on 16 drones. He's seen Dark beat MAXPAX for this style of strategy in the past. He's seen MAXPAX underestimate it, but I think you got to realize that MAXPAX has played against Dark so many times now, including in the group stage, where he managed to deflect Dark's shenanigans. I don't know if it's going to work again. Now, Banelings have been shown. Ling's still dancing around. SERRAL is going to have to split some Lings into the natural. Does lure the Adepts and Sentries over there. Banelings, they look for the hit, but they're not able to get it. Queens are going to have to fight. The Banelings and Zerglings trying to pull back. Warp in on the natural. Shield battery is up, though. Banelings looking for the juicy hit in the middle of the Adepts. Great force field. Beautiful force fields here for MAXPAX. Those Banelings looking for the big juicies, but they're just not landing. Dude, the Banelings are hitting nothing. The Banelings are hitting nothing. The Ling's trying to surround in the natural. They're not able to get it. MAXPAX is holding pretty well. That single Zealot on the natural goes down. If he loses those 2 gateways on the natural, SERRAL might be able to do it. If SERRAL had a Spine Crawler up or something, I think this would be game over. The Queens are still incredibly tanky right now. Another unit warps in on the natural. Ling's going to surround up here in the main base, which is massive. The Probes joining the fray right now. The boys! MAXPAX pulling the boys. He's at double the worker count. He can lose a lot of these and still be in a good spot, but more Banelings coming in, and those Banelings, of course, forcing the Probes away. Beautiful spreadies for MAXPAX. MAXPAX needs to stay disciplined. He cannot clump. If he clumps even a little, he's going to really regret it. The Banelings not getting the big hits they were looking for, and there we go. Does get the detonate finally on those workers in the mineral line. These 2 Queens have done so much damage, and SERRAL with a 16 drone proxy hatch opens the wall off and goes into a Ling Bane all in. That was nail-bitingly close. I thought MAXPAX was going to hold for a moment there, but SERRAL doggedly commits and manages to just barely tie up the series. All right, MAXPAX gets cheesed out in game 2. Got to just kind of shake his head and go, that's annoying, but it is what it is. It's going to be in the top right of ley line. SERRAL in the bottom left. And map where it's kind of funny because SERRAL has, as I realize, we've actually got that edge scrolling. Let's turn that off real quick. SERRAL has actually got a habit of getting into crazy late games in this map where Zerg is massively disadvantaged. And the reason they are, we're talking about it with Roddy the other week as well, this base, impossible to defend against Tempest. If the Protoss just rotates around the map with Tempest and Storm, you just can't defend these bases. So then you've got maybe 5 safe bases, right? This northern one, this southern one. This base really exposed, this base really exposed. If you go to these edge bases, they can also just attack one side, recoil to the other. It feels like late game on this map. Ever since we saw Estrella pick SERRAL apart on this map, we've realized, woof, it's a good map for Zerg until it isn't. And then in that late game stage, it feels like it should be way better for Protoss. Despite that, SERRAL has made comebacks on this map in the late game while miles behind against Hero and MAXPAX. He did that to both of them in Masters Coliseum in the Luli finals. So it's just one of those situations now where you kind of go, has MAXPAX worked enough on his late game to beat SERRAL if it gets there? Because, I mean, he's going into late games with big advantages, but SERRAL just seems to have that experience edge. Then again, I wouldn't rule out MAXPAX just rolling over him with Blink Stalkers or something like that. I mean, we saw what he did in game 1 with a very cute Oracle opening. He's back to a more standard opening this time around, not expecting the Oracle surprise to work out. Wants to keep MAXPAX on his toes. Don't let him get into his comfort zone. Warp Gate starts up, of course, after the Oracle. Probes returning, insta-chrono on the natural. Notice he's saving chronos in the main. So MAXPAX is wanting to triple chrono, or at least double chrono his Oracles, because he wants to insta-chrono the moment the Stargate's done. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of players will have already chronoed the main for probes, and instead, they'll wait for the 100 energy mark, and this, which would actually be 50 energy, and they'll chrono the Oracle after about 10 seconds, 15 seconds of building it, right? But he's like, no, I want that Oracle out immediately. So you can tell MAXPAX has big priority on making sure that gets across the map ASAP. SERRAL with a lovely inject, double inject. No early creep, the priority for SERRAL. All about that lava. Great extractor trick so far. Doesn't lose anything. Can just cancel that, get back 17 or 19 minerals, I should say. Whew. Spore Crawler in the main base. Third base is there. Creep Tumor goes down off of the third queen only. Overlord did take a bit of damage, but it looks like it might escape. Does the Stalker know it's there? Yes, it does. That's going to be a good catch for MAXPAX. Not having to build a Phoenix or a Void Ray. Does limit the vision, but whoa! 14 Zerglings! Big commitment! And he's just going to click on that Nexus. Oh, he goes for the Adept as well, actually. The Oracle's on the wrong side of the map, guys. It's got full energy. It's going to go in against the Spore. SERRAL even tried to pull back the Zergling that was targeted. Cancels the Pylon, the Nexus, and gets the Adept. And already, what a different start this is to map 1. SERRAL just sliding those Zerglings in at the perfect time. Oracle keeps trying to catch drones transferring. So far, SERRAL hasn't left anything sticking out. Even there, quickly turning the lava into an Overlord, so that there's no exposed target. And a few hits on the Oracle. Nicely done. Oracle sees the Zerglings. Might be worth tagging those just to make sure they can't catch you by surprise. Now, something I've noticed that MAXPAX and a lot of the players aren't finding the opportunity to do is when he does Ling counters like this, if you could sneak 2 Adepts around the edge of the map, wait for the Lings to probe your base again, and then shade in when the Lings are on the wrong side of the map, that can be rather devastating. Doesn't seem like it's a priority, though, for MAXPAX. He goes Twilight pretty early. This looks like a 4-gate Glaives, guys. See? Yep. Resonating Glaives. That's the Adept attack speed upgrade. 45% attack speed boost. It is a massive boost to the Adepts. And it's looking to catch a player who doesn't build a Roach Warren. Oh, SERRAL. He's building a Roach Warren in his wall already. So not only is he building a Roach Warren, he's doing what he always does, where he builds it in his wall off. So if he gets surprised by those Adepts, he can still quickly wall off with 2 Evo Chambers and stop the Adepts from shading into his base. So they can only threaten the third, and it takes away that mobility advantage that the Shades give you. SERRAL going for a fast 4th, though. He has no idea that it is Glaive Adepts just yet. He has seen, of course, 2 Oracles. He's still probing with his Zerglings, and, he's going to start wondering, why aren't I seeing any Stalker Warpins? That's what I might start to wonder. Wonder by about 5 minutes 30, 5:40. I'd be going, I haven't seen any Stalkers other than that early one. But no safety roaches being built. What's good about SERRAL is whenever he's in this moment where he knows Glaive Adepts could move out in any moment, he doesn't get supply blocked. He always builds Overlords whenever he's uncertain. And he's even holding back lava right now. But the Lings get pushed back by the Oracle. Builds 5 roaches. Safety roaches off 66 drones. He's going to need more than that, though. This is a lot of Adepts moving out. 12 Adepts coming forwards. Blocked by his own Stalker, but the Shades will move straight through that. Zergling still have not spotted it. 10 roaches on the way. It's a 66 drone, a Roach Hydra style, and that should be correct. If he runs drones from his third and walls off that natural with an Evo, he'll be good, but he doesn't know about it until right now. SERRAL sees it. Ling counter comes in. Oh, MAXPAX unprepared, losing multiple probes. Already 3 probes going down. Evo chamber wall off is solid. Roaches and Queens getting shaded on top of. The Adepts already taking out 1. 2 of those roaches. Nope, the transfuse is good. Only 1 roach goes down. Ling's in the third base, focusing the probes with hold position, and then even focus firing. Wow. 9 probes. 10 probes are going to go down. Excellent play there for SERRAL. Even cancels the Evo chamber in time. Pulls back his roaches, builds another Evo chamber, and MAXPAX completely stopped in his tracks. And this is what I was talking about earlier in this series when I said SERRAL will prepare things. Little details where he will catch MAXPAX off guard and make it not even look fair. It's similar to what Rogue did for large portions of his ZvP career. He found the little Ling run by, which you might think is, no, it's not that big, is it? It's big, guys. He killed an Adept, canceled a Pylon on the Nexus. Not only that, he shut down the Oracles. He lost no drones this game while shutting down the third, while shutting down the Adepts. And now, perfect response of 66 drones. He didn't know it was coming, but a perfect response shuts down the Glaive Adepts. He's not going to walk into the stasis trap. He sends 1 roach in to take 1 for the team. He's dropping the purple highway right now. That's right, guys. Some people, they're weirdos. They want to go into Hollywood and get on the red carpet. SERRAL only had 1 dream as a child, and that was to step on a big blanket of purple biomass that he could suck up nutrients through, and it would make him run around faster. For him, he said, look, if there's an Overlord dropping down some purple creep, and I get to run around in it like I'm stepping on it's kind of like running on a jumping castle, but it's made out of Play-Doh. It's amazing, and it's a great feeling if you're a Zerg. Big Roach Ravager attack. MAXPAX micro, kind of incredible. I just don't think he has the damage output. 14 Stalkers there, so much Roach Ravager. And even with that nice stasis that had frozen something, MAXPAX is trying to rebuild a Nexus in his face because he knows if he can't hold a third against a 4-base Zerg, he's done for. But I just think it's you know, it's going to be everything getting overrun. So much Roach Ravager Zergling. And even though the Stalkers aren't really going down in droves, only 5 Stalkers dying, SERRAL still on 63 drones, building new Queens, building new Roaches and Ravagers behind. He did bring all of his Queens across the map. I love that MAXPAX kept his Oracles alive. He should probably be going for Stasis Traps, but since they keep getting biled, maybe his best bet is to turn on the lasers and use them to take down the rally. The Queens go a bit far forward. If MAXPAX can take care of the Queens of the Stalkers, that's when the Oracles could come in and make some stuff happen. Good blink back micro for MAXPAX. And whenever you're in this situation, you just want to look at it and see, are there uncharacteristic mistakes? Because sometimes a very emotional player like maybe like a Beyond or someone like that, you could see them start to like misclick a lot in these scenarios and kind of make bigger mistakes while behind. MAXPAX, very robotic in the best way possible. Just keeps microing perfectly, keeps making the correct moves. Does he have a chance of winning? No, he's completely dead. But the fact that the dead man is still thrashing about, trying to get out of SERRAL's chokehold, it just goes to show that he's not going to break easily on the mental side. MAXPAX is going to keep fighting to the bitter end, and it's going to be hard to get him out of this series, no matter which way it goes. Did he cancel the Hydra? Maybe? I didn't think he rebuilt it, but definitely got Hydras coming in now. Roach Ravager holding the choke point. Stalkers cannot move out of there. A couple Zealots warp in on the 4th base. They're going to get surrounded. Oracles try to get over there, but MAXPAX knows he doesn't have the numbers. He realizes it is time to throw in the towel. Okay, going into Game 4. SERRAL once again going forward. Appears to be the 15 Overlord build, but Overlord will see a probe coming in. He's going to have to go take his 3rd base. So 2 more drones. It's going to be a 17 supply 3rd hatchery. And actually, he's sending it out a little late on Errorholm. Going to be these new maps coming out a fair bit here. And I say new maps, I mean, they're not really on the ladder or anything like that. The unofficial new maps that we're just running here in a lot of the online tournaments. Notice how MAXPAX optimizing his worker micro here with the shift clicks. It's kind of fascinating to see him and Clem so consistently doing that. And not a lot of the other players doing it so much. I'm not sure if SERRAL does that every game or not just yet. Something I'll have to keep an eye on is how much SERRAL actively micros his drones before things like this probe harass come in. Gas pool does go down after that. So strategically, let's have a little analysis, guys. SERRAL has gone for what appeared to be a 66 drone Roach Hydra timing. I think he was always planning to do like a big Roach Hydra attack. And I think he sped up the attack specifically because he shut the Adepts down so hard and decided just go with pure Roach Ravager. Don't even need to wait for Hydras. Let's just go kind of thing. So I think that's what he did in that last game. It's obviously a flexible opening. The thing about SERRAL is even when he's planning attack timings, he only does it if the opportunity presents itself. So if it is a good situation, he'll go for it. And if it's not, he'll always back out of it. And, you know, we've talked to him a bunch of times. We've had long-form interviews. We've been like, oh, yeah, what about this all in? He's like, oh, I was planning to do that in this series, but then the situation didn't come about, so I didn't use it. And I'm like, wait, have you used it since? And he's like, no. I'm like, are you saying you've got a cheese in your back pocket that's been sitting there for a year waiting for you to have the right opportunity to use it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's not normal. Like, I think if you're not a pro player, you might not realize, like, you don't have builds in, like, you don't have that much brain space for builds that are up to date, practiced. People normally, when they do a cheese, they just pick a map, they pick a good situation where they maybe study their opponent. SERRAL's the weirdo who's got so much memory of his builds and muscle memory and knowledge. He'll bring out this thing that's been sitting in there getting dusty for a year, execute it like he's been practicing it every single day non-stop. And you're like, oh, why? How do you... That's not human, man. Calm down, bro. He's too cowardly to commit to it. That's one way of putting it in Twitch chat. That's one way. Depth's coming forward. Stargate is there as well. Most of us just don't play on the same reactive level as StarCraft, as SERRAL, that's for sure. But MAXPAX, as long as he's not losing his 3rd to, you know, some linger unbuys and stuff, I think he's going to cause a lot of problems here. Gets a drone immediately. And, oh, he doesn't target fire there, but that's okay. He's going to get rid of 3 Zerglings and a drone for an Adept. A worthwhile trade for the Protoss. Not too worried about that one. You can see in the units lost tab, of course, very even on both sides. Spore Crawler goes down in the main. Got an extra queen there building as well, so it's going to be 4 queens, 3rd hatchery. Oracle flies across the map. If these lings can find the probe, that'd be great. MAXPAX. Oh, is Adepts getting surrounded? No, it's not, but that means the probe is. The Oracle has to come back. Gets only a single Zergling. Great play there for SERRAL. SERRAL's just making the basic things harder to do, and this is something that's a lost art for a lot of Zergs. Disrupting Protoss openings. So many Zergs, so many of us rely on, I'm going to flood 40 Zerglings in, kill your 3rd Nexus and wreck ya. It doesn't work very well now that the energy recharge is there. Nice. Evo Chamber, way more hit points than a Spore Crawler. It just takes more space, so you need to be out in a big open area in order to throw that down. Much smarter, though. If you put a Spore down, the Oracle would have just clicked on it and killed it. Oracle comes in from that side, gets one more drone. Oracle on the south. Spore and Queen deflect. Early Evo Chamber on the left side. Looks like a +1 melee build again now. So this is something I've been discussing this a lot on my stream, and everyone's been insisting, oh, you have to play Hydras. You can't play +1 melee Zerglings. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. SERRAL showed in Masters Coliseum and big, the big Luli finals that yes, it does. He shut down pretty much every opening that came his way. He was very rarely behind off the opening with the melee builds. Now, don't get me wrong. It can be vulnerable to certain situations. And you might be like, well, it didn't work game 1. Guys, remember, he took 5 drones to the first Oracle in game 1. He was playing from a very far behind situation in that game. 3 drones do go down. It's decent damage, but I don't think it's particularly crazy at this point. When you're already up above 50 workers, it's not that big of a deal. You've already got your Roach Horn down. Your 4th hatchery starting just after 5 minutes. You got to remember, guys, that damage, 2 drones at 4 minutes is a lot more than 2 drones at 5 minutes. Every minute that goes by in StarCraft, every bit bigger your economy gets, the more you can just easily replace things, right? So I think SERRAL already being at 60 drones at 5.5 minutes. Lairs on the way. +1 melee is feeling pretty good. MAXPAX is playing a very generic build this time. He's got the Forge, Chronoing +1 more than Blink, because unless you're planning to run across the map straight away, it is going to be the upgrades on the Forge that need to be going all game long. And he's going to be going for, is that 6 gate? Wow, 7. 7 gate Blink. That's a lot of gateways, guys. That to me looks like he's just committing hard to the mass Blink. Gonna get an Overlord kill there. Not a bad start. Extra hatchery up north as well. Really wise. If you play +1 melee, you need to be willing to counterattack and give up a base if you have to. Good positioning for MAXPAX with the Adepts and the Shield Battery. He's a little supply blocked right now on 85. But looks like SERRAL's like, I'm not going to fight into a Battery and Adepts and Warpins and all the rest. Could attack this Adept in the natural. But an Oracle comes back, turns on the laser beam. And of course, SERRAL says that's not a worthwhile trade. MAXPAX going to try and build a gateway on the front. SERRAL does not know about it. SERRAL's on 63 workers, no macro hatch, which as long as he hits his injects perfectly is fine. But if he doesn't hit his injects perfectly, if all these queens get pulled to the front, he might struggle to spend his money on just Zerglings here. And he's going to have to look to set off these stasis traps. First one goes down. Queen's already dying, though. One queen goes down. You cannot lose your queens. You've only got 5 of them. And if the oracles are able to fight overhead, your Zerglings will get mulched. Alright, guys. Another queen goes down. Hatchery taking damage. Queen as well. Ooh, Lings are running into the third base. Cannon and Battery is there. 2 Adepts are over on that side. Oracle in the north as well, dancing back and forth. It's going to find an exposed drone on the worker line. MAXPAX so active. I like that SERRAL's avoided fighting. He hasn't bled too many units out. He's at, you can see, I mean, he's still very bad units lost time in terms of ratios, but this is pretty all in from MAXPAX. He doesn't have gases on his third still. He's still just 8 gate Stalker Zealoting with +1, not even making a +2, but without a Hydra upgrade. SERRAL's in trouble. He's got to go forward with the Lings now. Doesn't have a good angle. This feels like a pretty decent angle for MAXPAX. The Ling's not really able to get us around. Queens came in from the right side. Can't imagine they're going to be very effective there. SERRAL trying to pull back one of those queens. The other one does go down. Stasis trap there, but 13 probes just went down. Oh my gosh, great observing from Pig, guys. Sorry, I did not catch that. My bad, guys. Okay, we'll have to rewind to that point at the end of the game, but Baneling's coming in on the front, not as useful. Getting rid of those 13 probes is good, but it doesn't matter if you can't defend the army. MAXPAX was already all in. Oh, but this is really problematic. He's going to get rid of the shield battery again, the new one that rebuilt, and the probe mining. Oracle's forced to go home. Army count right now, 66 for SERRAL, 56 for MAXPAX. SERRAL is sub 60 drones. Normally a disaster for a Zerg, but when you've got a Protoss who's unable to mine from their third base, it might just be perfect. 3 Zerglings, or 4, still looking for the counterattacks. They will find this time another big Zealot warp in. Constantly having a warp in at home rather than the front. And SERRAL gets another probe for a single Zergling. More stasis traps going down, guys. Stasis traps probably the most frustrating ability to deal with right now. We'll see what SERRAL's answer is. I think he's just got to keep spreading Zerglings through. He hasn't really done it, though. First stasis trap lands. He's not getting those Zerglings through the line. And he just has to disengage once those do come down. Now, the Hydras have groove spines, but there's only 9 of them. He's mostly focusing on Ling production. Ling Bane has to go deal with these Zealots in the top side. Nice positioning on the Zealots. The Banelings get some decent hits, though. At the same time, Stalkers try to shove forward. The Hydras and the Zerglings just barely defending. 2,000 resource lost advantage from MAXPAX. His Stalker micro is being great. Remember, though, he's only on +1 attack. 1-1 is done for Zerg. Baneling speed is coming in. SERRAL has got those Hydras. As long as those Hydras survive, SERRAL will start trading well now, or at least better. But Archon's coming in. A big problem for the Ling Bane. Archon's very efficient. The Hydra's nice transfuses, but one of the Hydras goes down. The Baneling Zergling pulling back. SERRAL's micro very slick, but does he have enough units to deal with it? Ling's going to go on the counterattack. There is a cannon there. Baneling Zergling into the Archon right now. The Archon's taking a few hits. The Stalkers are forced back. One Archon goes down. Another Archon goes down. One Archon very low. Zergling's in the third base, ravaging. But actually, the Zealot warping was quick enough. MAXPAX doesn't lose all that much. Hydras do not want to fight front on. A crazy blink chase. MAXPAX embraces his inner parting there. Clicks with his important thing right into the Hydras. Honestly, I think SERRAL probably should have turned and fought him, but he was probably looking elsewhere at that exact moment. And instead, he gives up 2 Hydras. And SERRAL getting worn down. Dude, this build order is the build order that has been ruining Dark, ruining Rogue. It's the 8-gate blink, no gases on the 3rd. SERRAL shut this build down every time he played against it in Masters Coliseum in Big Luli. I have been spreading the misinformation that he is immune to this build order, but right now, honestly, I think he's getting overrun. I say that even as he starts to kill a lot of Stalkers. It's just his supply looks so low, but he kills a whole lot of Stalkers there, but 6 more drones just went down as well. I mean, this is such a close game. MAXPAX needs to transfer from his main. He's going to do that to the 3rd. SERRAL has the 4th base open, though, so he can keep transferring to that. He doesn't really need much gas. So SERRAL, he's only on like 4 gases right now. He could be on even less. The Oracle's still trying to defend there as best he can. Zergling's going to find the 4th base attempt of MAXPAX. +1 melee. Not enough with the Oracle overhead to take down the Nexus. More Lings coming in the north, though. He's realizing, look, this Oracle can't be everywhere at once. One Oracle went down. Lings forcing these probes off the line. He's going to try and run these Lings onto that Nexus, knowing the Oracle got away from it. This Oracle, 14 kills, though. And finally, SERRAL able to dislodge him on the front. MAXPAX is actually given up on the front. So he started to go Psystorm. He's given up on the front. Lings down the bottom do find a single Zealot. It's buddies. They will not be able to engage, but they know they're there, which means could split some Hydraling to go after. It's just dangerous to go so far off creep, and MAXPAX wisely recalls to his side of the map as well. SERRAL is trapped on a low income. His heart is racing, his adrenaline's pumping, and the fact that he's still pumping Queens, Zerglings, and Hydras essentially means he is all in. SERRAL has made an executive decision to say there is no coming back in the long game. There is no droning up and playing the slow game. No way, dude. I've got Hydras, I've got Lings, I've got Banes. We make Banes, we make Lings, we make Hydras, we break rocks, and we go. Problem for him is the timing. The window's closing. 15 seconds till Storm's ready. Storm is going to be done at the perfect time, which means there's going to be at least 2 Storms. Energy recharge available. I'd love to see energy recharge already going down. MAXPAX, a lot of pros don't use it ahead of time. They like to use it reactively. I would like to see those High Templar already juiced up with that energy ready to go. Stasis Trap, Cannon Battery, Storm, very good. He stops the first Lings from setting off the Stasis Trap. SERRAL's too clumped. Storms are going to be brutal. Good. Spreadies on the fly. But those Banelings, incredibly clumped. Ling Bane Hydras in the mineral line, though. Probes are starting to go down. If you don't defend that worker line, the probes are starting to go down. It's a lot of Ling Bane Hydra. SERRAL's income is absolutely garbage, but his army is monstrous. But if he gets held, then he might be in big trouble. Remember, 4 base versus 4 base. He does pop an Archon there. The Banelings are going to come out and actually damage, but oh man, Banelings do so little damage to armed units these days. The Hydras are very vulnerable, expensive units. It's a 52 drone Zerg right now against the 45 probe Protoss, +2 attack finally starting for MAXPAX. Southern base, there's a cannon up there. There's a few Zealots, just these little pinprick counterattacks for MAXPAX as these two are locked in a duel. It's a very, very much a game that should be decided in the next minute. This fight should decide everything. There is no energy recharge. That's why I'm saying you want to use that energy recharge earlier so you've got the next one ready off cooldown. But these High Templar are sitting ducks right now. He has to morph into Archons, and that is a massive win for SERRAL. I thought MAXPAX had stabilized. Zealot flank comes in from the south. The Hydras, though, get on top of the High Templar and the Archons. Just no Storms. It's all about that energy management, and I think SERRAL just finds the tiniest window smashes it in and somehow squeezes through it like an octopus escaping through a hole on the side of a boat. That was ridiculous. All right, guys, MAXPAX, he's on a potential point where he could get knocked down to that loser's bracket. That would be very unfortunate, but damn, man, I really thought he'd stabilized in that series. Just not quite able to. SERRAL in the bottom left side is going to be going for the hatch gas pool, standard build order. And MAXPAX is doing a no scout build, but I think MAXPAX no scout builds, he takes his gas. He doesn't go gas first. I think it's less efficient than the gas first you'll see Hero go for. I'm not sure why he does this version. I guess technically it's very safe if there's like a 12 pool drone pool to have your gateway a bit faster, but I mean, you're not going to scout at all, so you wouldn't even know if that's coming. So yeah, I do think gas first is the better build order, but MAXPAX, not a fan of gas first for whatever reason. Does end up just kind of long distance mining a few trips of minerals and waiting at the gas for it to finish. Nonetheless, a no scout build will be a nice greedy start. Queen starting, Overlords as well. Zergling's going to be coming in. SERRAL's got momentum now. We might see SERRAL fall back into like a more macro stance. We might see him also be a bit more confident being greedy. This is the thing, once you start getting an advantage like this and you start kind of blocking everything, the Protoss might start losing faith in their aggression, right? MAXPAX. And SERRAL also might just get so confident in his reads, he might toe that line of greed even a little bit further to the line of danger. Saying, you're not going to bet on like a Glaive Adept attack. That's too risky, right? That can go terribly wrong for you. You're not going to do that when you're down 1 to 3. So maybe I skip the Roachron and go straight to Hydras. There's a lot of different options that you can do. There's no reason that MAXPAX doesn't show up to LAN or go to tournaments. No. Very private gentleman. Hasn't talked about it. Has said, don't want to answer it. Please don't ask. Kind of said, all right, fair enough. Still a few people out there, conspiratorial-minded people who think he's a cheater. Why else wouldn't he come? Pretty clear he's not. We've all looked at how he plays many times. We've seen the mistakes. Him and Clem may be the most mechanically gifted players we've ever seen in StarCraft, but they also kill their own units more often than than you'd expect. Clem and MAXPAX have the highest friendly fire ratio of any player in the top 20. That's a statistic I just pulled out of my butt, but I'm actually, like, I would gamble a lot of money on it. I watched enough of their games. I see them accidentally A-click on their own units, like, every second or third game. So Clem and MAXPAX, the two guys that play so frantically fast. A few of those misclicks do sneak in there. Oh, Overlord, gonna go down. I do like the Void Ray opening, just to mix up, denies scouting. But he's not going to do anything saucy off it. Just second gate into third and fourth gas. We can expect the Twilight and a Forge to go down in the main in a little bit. Oracle. Looking to defend. That's 22 Zerglings. Not going to be able to get the third base. Void Ray just got a second Overlord. This is a bad start for SERRAL, guys. You do not want to commit to 22 Zerglings and kill nothing. This is bad. He's down on workers. Great start for Max. MAXPAX goes for that Forge and Twilight we talked about. He's building a second Oracle. As long as this Oracle just... I mean, you can just turn the laser on. Yeah, SERRAL's like, please waste your energy. Wasting Protoss energy, guys. It used to be a very effective way of controlling Protoss's Oracle utility in the early game. These days, it's a little bit like... I don't know if you've ever taken a... like, if you've ever, as a kid, gone to the beach and decided you're going to empty the ocean, and you started picking up your little bucket you used to build sandcastles, and you start trying to, like, little bucket load by bucket load, one pail at a time, try to empty the ocean. That's trying to drain the Oracle energy with the energy recharge ability that is active in the current patch. Some would say a hopeless effort. I would say I admire SERRAL's determination to keep making those Oracles turn their lasers on and off. It at least forces APM and attention, gives him a bit of vision. Void Ray comes in, extracted. Oh my god, did he just not even lose a drone? He extracted trick to save it. He's only lost one drone. Pretty slick control for SERRAL. Putting 22 Zerglings that early was not great, but he's got a lair now. Insta Hydra Den. And he did, what did I say, guys? He might feel confident skipping a Roach Warren. I think he felt he needed to skip that Roach Warren, because he did build so many Zerglings, didn't find any real serious value with them, just distracting his opponent. And of course, it is 400 resources lost for SERRAL, 0 for MAXPAX. if you get hit by a big charge all in, big Glaive Adept attack, don't ever Roach Horn. That's when you really regret playing the way SERRAL's playing. But like I said, you're up 3-1. You can take that gamble. Hydra Den, it's about to finish. Queen and Spore Crawler are there. Oracle takes heavy damage. This Void Ray is still being very annoying at the front, trying to really push SERRAL's vision, make it very claustrophobic for him. But I mean, the fact remains, SERRAL's been so active, he forced a battery on the natural, a battery and a cannon on the third. And I don't think there's a Templar Archives yet. It's just now starting at 620. So you've already got 12 Hydras building, and he's going for the aggressive upgrade first, the movement speed upgrade, already about a quarter of the way done. Dude, I think SERRAL, he could just go for it with Hydraling. And there's no way MAXPAX gets a fourth base up here. It's very hard for MAXPAX to realize. If he sees no drones on this fourth with these Stalkers, then he might realize what's happening. I mean, the Hydraling could even just surround the Stalkers. That alone would be massive. This is really nice play for SERRAL. He's got those Hydras out at a good timing. He could loop some around that left side and bring an Overseer to deal with the Stasis Trap. That would be amazing. But he's just going to rely on Zerglings for the Stasis Traps. I actually think SERRAL should turn this into a counterattack timing. Like, he should be more focused on going across the map than defending. He tried to focus on defending because he's played so many games where Hero blinks in and kills your hatchery, so he felt like he had to keep a lot of Hydraling at home, but you can see he's already branching to that left side. Fourth base starts for MAXPAX. Good luck defending that, mate. We've got an avalanche of Zerg coming across. Hydraling on the right. These guys are going to wait. So they're going to try and break the natural, and MAXPAX hasn't seen them. They're just out of vision. They're just out of vision. SERRAL rotates, actually. He shows the Zergling scout on the right. He figures MAXPAX is going to rotate, and he runs in with a big Hydraling army. And he could run out, potentially, but it looks like he's going to commit. He's going to go for the surround. Ling's on top right now. Big arc down here. Stalkers try to go down that ramp, but the Hydras get on top of those as well. Oh, this is a disaster right now for Maxi, as SERRAL just finds the openings, man. Any hole's a goal for a Zerg player, and SERRAL is especially randy tonight. He is smashing, finding ways in, catching MAXPAX off guard, and you could see this shift in this game. MAXPAX getting a little more paranoid, and SERRAL being a little more opportunistic, a little more risky in his play, and finding value for it. The momentum and the psychology of the series, you can see how that evolves. It's such a nice play for SERRAL, and I think this really all comes back to that perfect Glaive Adept shutdown in Game 2. Or Game 3, was it, right? It was the cheese in Game 2. Which I thought MAXPAX was so close to holding the cheese. He was also so close to winning that last game. I do think if he was using his energy recharge earlier, he would have been able to, having a few more storms ready. But man, it's a game of inches. And SERRAL says if you make the tiniest mistake, you're a dead man walking. SERRAL with a dominant 4-1 victory over MAXPAX, showing that he cannot be controlled. He cannot be put down. And it does not matter what goes on in StarCraft. SERRAL is just going to be such a beast. He will always find a way to win. GG, well played. Very dominant performance for you. Bright and early in the finish, kind of morning, middle of the day now, I guess. The series started off a little bit rough for you, but overall, how did you feel about your condition? Do you feel like you played your best StarCraft?
Well, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I think especially the last game I was able to macro very, very well. But I think I played pretty well all the games. The first game, a lot of stuff went wrong. And that's just sometimes happens. So not really even if you play well or not. The Oracle, my queens just weren't in position, and then he dove on my 3 queens as well. So that was good for him. But played pretty well, generally speaking, I would say.
That first game, he went double gas Cybercore before Nexus. I haven't seen that really at the top level in PvZ before. Is that a build order you've seen on the ladder?
Not too much. I think he did against Solar just like yesterday or the day before on the same map. I'm not actually sure it was double gas that time. I didn't pay that close attention, but I knew the Oracle was going to be really fast. I actually didn't realize it was Cyber before even. In that specific game, so it wasn't the greatest reads, but I mean, I haven't played against it ever, well, at least in a long time. Probably at some point I have played against it, but it got me a little bit off guard for sure how fast it was.
Yeah, kind of crazy because it gets the Stargate about 20 seconds earlier, so speeds that up just and he went for a 3-minute Nexus as well, all off 1 Adept. So he didn't have to build his like 3rd pylon or 4th pylon, whichever one it is. He was on like 46 supply, and he already had 2 Oracles out, 3rd Nexus almost finished, and then his pylon finally finishes. So feels like he leaned into kind of the greed of the Oracle with the energy recharge and just said, who needs Adepts? Just probes and really fast Oracles. Do you think that might be a meta shift that becomes somewhat standard? I thought he might use it more in the series after that, because it seems like a pretty good opening.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess, yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I mean, it could be. It's just a big question. Can you hold the third base, which is an oracle, like the second oracle or something, right? Because if you can't, then it's not very solid. Yeah, I guess it comes down a lot to that. But I don't think that's gonna be a new standard or anything like that. It's just gonna be a little bit of an adjusted build, I guess.
Yeah, mix it in once in a while could be effective. Speaking of mixing it in once in a while, I was very happy to see you pick Talisman and bring out a nasty cheese. Did you cook that one up yourself, or were you inspired by another player? Where'd you get that build from?
Well, that's just the build Rex used to do on Stargazers, if you remember. And do you remember ever seeing that build on Stargazers? It was pretty common there. But obviously, Stargazers minerals have had like 20, I think, or something, so it was a bit faster. I was a little bit worried. He could get like an adept behind to shoot my drones or something if he would like probe harass the minerals or something. And so I went for a 15 hatch even that game, and then even brought like a 5th drone to kill the guys that actually would mineral harass, but he didn't do any of that. And to be honest, I think he should have held it. It wasn't that strong. But
It was pretty close. You were on 16 drones against like 32 for a while there.
Yeah, but he was making a Nexus and everything. He had like 35 probes or something. So I don't really know.
He might have been just a little too greedy there. Yeah, that was a nail biter though. I mean, I liked seeing it. It's cool to see a bit of the variety, the double oracle or triple oracle very early, and then that build. I think a big turning point in the series was you shutting down the Glaive Adepts with the wall off, the roaches. It looked like you weren't... I'm not sure if you weren't sure what he was doing. Were you just planning to do a 66 drone like roach hydra timing by the looks of it, and then you just kind of went, oh, okay, perfect, like I'm already building roaches, so I'm well prepared for this? Or did you actually think he might go for Glaive Adepts there?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what he was doing exactly, but yeah, I mean, I had no clue, to be honest. My initial plan was to skip roaches in case I see stalkers, but I didn't really see anything ever. But obviously could have just hit them behind in his natural wall as well. So I ended up deciding to, like you said, I was actually planning to do, I made the adjustment to go for I would have probably done a roach hydra rolling in most cases there, but obviously it would have depended on what I would have seen. But I did adjust my plan a little bit there after not seeing really much, and I think I had a pretty strong early game as well. So I was very confident making the roaches after that.
It worked out really nicely, and then once you're ahead going into the straight Hydra Den in the final game, yeah, just really nicely played series overall. I felt like, yeah, it's just good clean play, man.
Yeah, the last game was a little bit sad because I know he always goes the natural with the Oracle, but I tried to go around the wrong way, which was a little bit of a dumb mistake. But yeah, droning was still good, and he was worried, so he didn't really get any damage done, and I was free to drone up. So my drone count ended up being pretty nice, actually pretty fast there. And yeah, just nothing else than layer as my take there, no safety measures, so it was a pretty strong game after that.
Heck yeah, mate. Well, very well played. You're going to be our first player through to the semifinals, so you get to finish today nice and early. You're happy to dodge that other match between Clem and Beyond, and not going to be seeing those players until, of course, later on. I believe you'll be going only up against them potentially in the finals, I believe now. So you'll be, of course, playing someone from the other side of the bracket. We can show that on screen really quickly for those watching at home. So because you're going to be going through to this upper side here, you will, of course, be playing the player that comes from the loser's side of the other side of the bracket. So it's either Classic, Shin, Zaun, or Hero. Oh, actually, no, sorry, not from the losers, from the winner's side. It'll be, yeah, from the loser's side. So Classic, Shin, Zaun, or Hero. Which player would you prefer to play out of those?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought I was just gonna play against the winner of Zone Hero, but Yeah, it's a bit of a weird system. I don't really mind anyone specifically. I think everyone's so good. Right. Well, a lot of people are pretty dangerous right now, so it's never gonna be easy. That's for sure. And it's always hard to say how good the Koreans exactly are. But just equally, I want to play against all of them equally as much.
You got to beat everyone to win a tournament. Good philosophy.
Yeah.
That's it. Prepared for everything, as always. That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much, SERRAL, for the candid interview, sharing some insights, and for showing a shining light on how to play Zerg versus Protoss and run those oracles around in circles. Those Zerglings not caring about the unlimited energy, just so active. Love to see it. Perfect play. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you, of course, tomorrow night in that semi. Actually,
it's on Sunday, I think.
I think it's going to be on Sunday for the semis, because you're straight to the semis, because yes, that is correct. Because tomorrow we're going to be doing the lower side of the bracket. So yeah, you get a day off. So we'll see you on Sunday, and that should be fantastic, mate. Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good night, mate.